Remember our Retail Mavens law, which is that products never celebrate birthdays. Only people do. And honestly, products shouldn't even be around as long as 6 months. Welcome to Richer Retailer, where we're going to fix your cash flow and build profits so you can build a legacy and finally sleep better. That is for sure what I needed when I had my store. Hosted by me, Kathy Donovan Wagner, I'm an accidental retailer who went from near bankruptcy to owning 3 successful stores, generating multiple 7 figures in sales. As the founder of Retail Mavens, my mission is to help more women-owned retail stores reach $1 million. So if you're ready to scale past 7 figures and you like coffee, champagne, and profit and fun, well, at least profit and fun, our solutions will help. Join the Millie Club and let's go! Welcome to episode 008 today. Glad you're here. We're going to start out with a little story. Oh, your phone is ringing. You look down. You see that it's your accountant. Uh-oh, what's wrong, do you think, as you answer it? Hey there. She says, congratulations, you have a nice profit this year. What? Oh, that's wonderful. Of course I do. Yeah, I knew that, right? She says, I see that your cost of goods went down from this same time last year. I'm sending over your financials now. Oh, thank you very much, you say, as you put down your phone. All right, let me first clarify to you what that means, what that phrase, your cost of goods went down, or COGS, they sometimes call it. That means that when you look at your profit and loss, you'll see that you spent less on inventory this year than you did for the same time last year. It's often reflected as a percentage of what your sales are. So yeah, you spent less money on your cost of goods, so your sales minus your cost of goods minus your other expenses equals your profit. Congratulations. You're thinking to yourself, wow, I am an amazing retailer. And listen, indeed, you are. Congratulations. My work here is done. Have a great day. Just kidding. As with so many things, this isn't the whole truth. So let me tell you the rest of the story and where the hidden costs lie in this. All right, so as I said, you're feeling really great, right? So you go to your store feeling on top of the world, you park, you put your key in the lock, you open up the door and you walk onto the floor and you look around and your smile fades just a bit. I'm a bit bored with this stuff, you think, as you look around. I guess I've had it for a while. But I can't buy new stuff because I want to keep my cost of goods down. Look what it got me. Profit. Woo! And look at all of this great stuff here. I mean, there's a lot of great stuff here. You know, I'm just waiting for that right person to come in. That's all I need. Let me share a very true story with you. I was talking to a prospect. I was looking at her, reviewing her financials, and she said, listen, Kathy, I know what you're going to say. You're going to tell me that my inventory is too high. And I get it, she says, I get it. It's just that sales don't work for me. And maybe you've had that experience too, that feeling that sales don't work for you. And then she leaves this long pause and she says, you know what I found? You have to wait for that exact right person to come in. Oh, really? I said. She says, oh, yeah, for sure. She says, let me tell you what happened. I had this fabulous vase. It was so beautiful. I got it in and first I put it on the counter because I loved it so much. I was so happy to look at it every day. It didn't really move. So then I put it in the front window and it didn't move there. And so then I moved it over to that wall right over there and put flowers in it. And that didn't move. And then I moved it back into the side and I put some other things in it, some buds in it to see if that would help. And that didn't help. So then there was a local sidewalk sale. And so I put it out. I marked that thing 50% off. I mean, I would barely make what I paid for it. And it didn't sell. It was still there. So I kind of just kept moving it around and, I obviously had to dust it off a bit sometimes. And she said, and then on Christmas Eve, the very last customer, I hear the dingle of the bell. I'm actually in the back wrapping some presents for myself. So I go out to the front. And as I'm walking out to the front, I hear this customer just gasp was the sound she made. and she's staring at the vase. She said, "Oh my gosh, that is the most beautiful vase I've ever seen. Here it is, Christmas Eve. I don't have a present for my sister yet. That is perfect. She will love that so much. Can you wrap it for me?" "Of course," I said. And so I wrapped up that thing for her, Kathy, and I thought of her the next day on Christmas. I just thought of that big smile she was going to have on her face as she gave it to her sister, and as her sister loved it just as much as I did. And so she said, that's when I realized that, right, sales don't work for me. My customers don't care about sales, and so I just have to wait until the right person comes through the front door. Like I said to you before, I mean, it does kind of make sense. I get what she's saying. I said, let me ask you a question, I said to her. How much was that vase? Because, sometimes items that are very expensive can take a little longer to move. And she said, it was $40. So I'm thinking, no, it couldn't have been a price thing. I said, well, how long did you have it? And I could hear her fingernails tapping on her point of sale as she's on the keyboard as she says, oh yeah, let me check. Let me tell you. I had it for 13 years. Oh my gosh. You can't make that up. And I just was shocked. I'm thinking to myself, my goodness, you actually could have been charging more for it now because it's vintage at this point, right? Gosh, I share this story all the time when I speak, and I'll always have someone in the audience come up and say, actually, Kathy, the truth is I have something that's even older than that on my floor right now. Thanks so much for what you've just taught me. Because, right, you kind of don't know better. And so if you don't know better, you can't do better. But think about that vase being there for 13 years. And she is moving it all around her store. She's dusting it. And at $40, I mean, let's think about how it's basically a $20 bill. And so it's like she took this $20 bill and all over the store, and she kept ironing it flat, to make it look good. But that's what she was doing, is she was literally tripping over that $20 bill there in her store. She was tripping over that money. She didn't even think that there was anything else because she didn't want to mark it down because sales don't work for her, right? Well, let me start by suggesting that there's a different way to handle a sale, first of all. So if you've had something that's $40 and it's not selling, so then what would have happened if she had taken it down to $30, from 40 to 30? Taking it 25% off, and then see if it sells for a little while. And then if it still doesn't sell, like after a month or so, then taking it down to $20. Ooh, I know that's hard, right? Because that's about what you probably spent for it. I understand. But let's say it still doesn't sell. I mean, and this is where she got stuck. And I know you do too, because you certainly don't want to go below what you paid for something, right? That just seems like it's a bad idea. But look at what happens. If she had taken it down to 75% off to $10, ever so painful, I get it. And this is the part that you'll never forget for your whole retail life, and you'll gladly mark things down without worry when you see what happens. You see, if she had given someone the vase and then taken that $10 bill and then used that $10 bill to buy, let's say, 2 more vases, $5 vases each. And then she's able to sell one of them at full price and maybe another one at a little bit of a markdown because now she's learned that, boy, that really does work. And then she gets some more money, and then she's able to take the money, the money from those 2 vases and buy a few more vases. And so then it's like she's got this little stack of money that keeps growing as she's able to take the money that she got from that merchandise and invest it in new inventory. And then she decides to try some blue vases that are a different shape. And then she decides to buy bigger vases. And then she takes the money from that. And then this pile of money literally just keeps growing. You see, sometimes you have to let go in order to grab what is waiting for you. She was so worried about going below cost and losing money on this item that she lost actually thousands of dollars over those 13 years. Thousands of dollars was lost because she kept that money invested into that vase that did not move, right? We see happen all the time is that many store owners end up waiting and then don't have the cash to buy new stuff. You see, the other thing that when cost of goods is down compared to last year, when you look at your profit and loss and you see that your cost of goods is down, especially as a percentage when you compare it to the same time period as last year, then if you go to look on your balance sheet, what I often find is that if the cost of goods is down, on your balance sheet is when your on-hand inventory is listed, that the on-hand inventory is increased so that there's more inventory on the floor, even though they've spent less on inventory. So instead of buying new merchandise, the owner is holding on to old merchandise because they don't want to mark it down. They feel like that's how they lose their profit. But there's such a huge unseen cost to not marking down lazy merchandise, inventory or merchandise that's just not selling. For example, let's say you bring in 3 styles of pants. One blows out crazy, like it's gone in a week. That happens every once in a while, right? And there's nothing wrong with the 2 other styles, and you feature them and you highlight them and you sell a few more, but now what? I'll tell you that what this tells me is that your store, you sold out of your best sellers. So you sold out of that one pair of pants, that best seller, right? And that's what I often see when the cost of goods is down as a percentage and the inventory is actually up. It means that they've blown out of that bestseller, but they're stuck with the things that aren't moving. They're left with odd sizes, or they often call it broken sizes in the clothing industry, or colors that just aren't as popular. You've got to get the cash out of those things. You can't wait to be that perfect person. You can't afford to. You can't wait for a night on a white horse because it's not coming fast enough. You're on your own, kid. Thanks, Taylor Swift. You can do this. You can take control. You can take markdowns on that lazy inventory. Commit to moving it out. That reduced price makes it more appealing to your sale customers. Do you keep track of your sale customers? That's a fabulous thing to do. Give them a call. Tell them that you've got stuff marked down. People, they love that. And then take that cash that you've created and reinvest it in your best sellers. This increases your sales in 2 ways, you guys. And the first is that you're selling that old stuff and you're converting it into cash, right? Plus, you're selling more new stuff. So your cost of goods will go up some as you're bringing in more new, but remember that your sales are increasing too. So the cost of goods percentage, when you look at how much you've spent on the merchandise and you divide it by the sales, the cost of goods as a percentage will have decreased and your profits grow more. Side note, and something I'll talk about later, this is also called increasing your inventory turn. Let me know if you'd like me to explain more about inventory turn also. What I want you to see is that by boldly taking those markdowns and giving up some of those dollars that you feel like you deserve, you're actually increasing your sales and creating cash to buy more bestsellers, which, like I said, leads you to more profit, even more profit than before. All right. So you know how when you're reading a long email or something, at the bottom it'll say TLDR with a colon? As I was preparing for this, I wrote down TLMWDL, which means too long, mind wandered, didn't listen. So if that's you, I have 3 milli moments to share with you. Milli moments are things that we share are about changing your mindset to create more of a $1 million mindset so that you can be richer in every way possible. The facts I want to share with you. The first one is that you missed sales by not reordering that item that blew out in a week or so, assuming that there's still a month left of selling time. For sure, reorder it. What sells out in a week? What do you have that sells out that fast? Reorder it. Don't be afraid to reorder it. Number 2, if the other styles are around after the latest 60 days, take 25% off of them to turn them into cash to pay for that best-selling stock that you're reordering and blowing out, right? Number 3, your inventory is worth less the longer you hang on to it. It does not appreciate in value. Number 4, get over yourself. You're actually paid to bet on your purchases. So place the winning bets again as fast as possible and get rid of those bad ones much faster than you have already. Remember our Retail Mavens law, which is that products never celebrate birthdays. Only people do. And honestly, products shouldn't even be around as long as 6 months. All right. Listen, I would love for you to share with me what you've learned from this. I'd love to know how this helped you and how it helped you to shift your mindset about markdowns and how it made you more bold about markdowns, because this particular episode, 008, should literally make money for you. Please let me know. Subscribe, leave a review, and tell me what you thought. I'll also put a link in the show notes about another opportunity we have. I dare you to take action. I dare you to go out on the floor right now and mark some of that lazy inventory down. Let's create new cash from it. And then reorder what you know is selling great. Listen, y'all, if this episode inspired you or encouraged you to take that action to create more cash for yourself, I would love to hear from you. Please leave a review and connect with me over on our Facebook group at RETAILMavens FB for Facebook.com, or shoot me a DM. I'll meet you here again real soon. Know that you are astonishingly fabulous and you are loved.